Jai Hind everyone. The former Aam Aadmi Party MP and the current BJP MP Ashok Kumar Mittal has initiated a new debate. He has introduced the National Commission for Men Bill in Rajya Sabha, and according to him, this bill is aimed at establishing a statutory commission called the National Commission of Men. And this National Commission is aimed towards establishing a gender neutral justice system in India. Now, this has been a long standing debate wherein people have argued that the Indian laws are women centric laws, and these laws have been used against the men in many a times. Now, while introducing this bill, he made some very specific statements like men too can be victims. Now, with this bill, he has essentially, he has sparked one of the most polarizing debates in the Indian politics. Now, while introducing this bill, he had also invoked the Ketan Agarwal murder case that had happened last month. Now, this case has made the nation very, very uncomfortable. And people have been asking question, what if a victim was the women? Would we need a commission for women? Because we already have one. So why not for men? Now, why this debate also becomes prominent? Because just the last month, a 25-year-old businessman, Ketan Agarwal, fell to death from the Lohagarh fort. Initially, it looked like an accident, but the investigation revealed a chilling conspiracy behind it. He was allegedly pushed by his fiancée, who did not want to marry him. Now, it was said that it was not an accident but a planned murder because the accused had visited the place of crime twice to rehearse the crime. Now, in this session, we would deep dive into this debate and we would discuss what essentially are the objectives of the bill, what all are the pros and cons of the bill, and what is the way forward. Now, when we move ahead, the background of the bill. Now, through this bill, the core message that is being delivered by the bill, it says that men too can be the victims. They deserve institutional support, legal protection, and a platform where their voices are heard. Okay. Now, this the demand for such an institution has been recently triggered by the Sia Ketan case and rising concerns over misuse of legal provisions like Section 498A. Okay. So let us start off with a reality check. When we think of victims in India, we automatically picture women. But there has been a data that tells a different story. 73% of suicide victims in India are men. Sociologists, they call it a disposable men syndrome, where a man is suffering, where men's suffering is normalized as just a struggle. Now, when we look into this bill, we often find an institutional gap. We have set up the National Commission for Women in 1992. We have the National Commission of Minorities. We have the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. And even we have the National Commission for Backward Classes. But for the demographic that makes up half of the population and the majority of suicide statistics, we institutionally have zero statutory support. So this is essentially a very big question. Does India believe that pain has a gender? Now, when we move ahead, we find what all are the objectives of the bill. Okay. Now, in this bill, the aim is to establish a statutory National Commission for Men under the Ministry of Law and Justice. Okay. Now, this has been demanded. Ashok Kumar Mittal has stated that justice must be equal for everyone, irrespective of the gender. Now, it reviews and recommends reforms in laws that are disproportionately affecting the men. Okay. So, while introducing this bill, okay, Ashok Kumar Mittal was heavily influenced by Supreme Court's own warnings. Okay. Supreme Court in the Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar case, the court had noted that section 498A, that translates to the dowry harassment, was being used as a weapon rather than being a shield. Okay. Now, the recently committed murder of Ketan Agarwal was just the spark that had lit this fire. Okay. Now, this bill addresses mental health, suicides, and family law biases, especially the custody. Okay, the parental custody that is being talked about, and this bill will promote gender neutral access to justice and fairness in criminal or also in the family matter. Okay, so what does this bill actually want to do? It is not just about creating a building with a signboard. Okay, it aims at addressing a formal grievance. Okay, so aim is to establish a formal grievance mechanism. If a man faces domestic violence, workplace harassment, or false allegation today, a man does not have a formal platform to go. The women commissions often acknowledge the concern, but they cannot legally accept the complaint of the men. Okay. Moreover, this bill is also targeting the legal biases and is primarily focusing upon a silent health emergency, okay, that has been evolving amongst the men. Okay. Now, when we talk about the key provisions of this bill aims to establish a statutory commission with a chairperson. Okay. Now, this chairperson of this commission shall be appointed by the President of India. Okay, so in this scenario, the appointment shall be carried out by the President of India, and this body would have 3 men and 3 women members. Okay, will also have a legal advisor nominated by the Chief Justice of India. Clear? So this body that is being established, this body will be established under essentially the Ministry of Law and Justice. Okay, so this institution shall be established under the Ministry of Law and Justice. Okay, along with this, we also see that gender balance is being maintained. Okay, moreover, this bill aims to establish power similar to the existing statutory commissions which are there. Okay, this bill also targets the essentially the statutory protection under section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. Okay, now the section 498A has been replaced by section 85 and section 86 of the BNS. Okay, now the legal safeguards that it talks about, okay, it says mandatory 30-day inquiry before arrest in dowry cases, and it should be made a bailable offense. Okay, it should be made a bailable and a compoundable offense. Clear? Moreover, it also requests penalties for false complaints up to 5 years imprisonment plus 25 lakh fine. Okay, and compensation for the reputational damage and also the career damage that has been caused through it. Okay, now this demands some gender neutral reforms also. Okay, now it says that shared parenting should be a default norm here. Okay, so this bill also aims at the extension of domestic violence protection to male victims. Okay, gender neutral framework for workplace sexual harassment. Okay, gender neutral sexual offense provisions, as well as they are also demanding that ultimately child custody and family law must also be reformed. Okay, so it basically says that equal parental rights unless the abuse or neglect is proven. Okay, anti-parental alienation and up to rupees 10 lakh fine. Clear? So anti-parental alienations, and it says that up to rupees 10 lakh fine. Along with it, it also demands up to 2 years imprisonment. Clear? So along with this, these provisions, they are also targeting the continuous focus on the welfare of child. Okay. Along with this, a very prominent thing about media and the social media. Clear? Now, it demands 50 lakh fine for media declaring the guilt before the trial. Okay, so it demands a ban on declaring guilt before the judicial, okay, determination. So ultimate end to the media trials. Okay, and penalties also. Moreover, it requests a budget of around rupees 3650 crore for 2025 or up to 2030. So 5-year budget of over rupees 3600 crores has also been demanded. Clear? Moreover, the most prominent thing is that they do request rapid establishments of courts for its jurisdiction. Special court for false accusation case and custody disputes, mandatory disposal within 6 months, and faster relief for both genuine victims and falsely accused persons. Clear? So all in all, the bill has been made keeping in mind the balances which are required in similar cases. Clear? Now, moving ahead, the pros of the bill. Okay, if we talk about the pros of this bill, it basically addresses the true equality. It aligns with Article 14, right to equality, by balancing gender-specific protection. Okay. Along with it, it will help reduce misuse of laws. Okay. So today, misuse of the laws are being seen, and even the court has addressed these issues. Okay. So in this situation, okay, the court also says that we live in a society where a man's suffering is often invisible. So we need to have a body to research about the issues around the male, just like we are doing so for women. Now, mental health focuses, it addresses high male suicide rates through dedicated support and research. Child-centric, it talks about shared parenting and prioritizes the child's welfare while protecting father's right. Moreover, it talks about accountability, so strong penalties for false allegations and also the media trials. Clear? So, the bill is aimed at preventing the weaponization of the law. Okay. Now, as it has been said many a times that dowry laws were a shield for women, but now they have become a sword against the men. Okay. Moreover, the bill especially talks about the media trial. Okay. In the Ketan Agarwal case, we had read the headlines even before the trial had concluded. Okay. So this bill proposes 50 lakh fine for media houses that declare guilt before the court does. Okay. Moreover, if we talk it in a very holistic situation, this clause in itself is a massive step towards fair justice. Okay. Moving ahead, if we talk about the cons and the criticism of this. Okay. So this will also come up with some cons. Okay. Now, it may discourage genuine victims. Okay. It is feared that stricter procedures and harsh penalties, 5-year jail could intimidate real rural women from reporting abuse. Okay. Dilution risk. It could weaken the protective framework of hard-won women-centric laws. Implementation challenges. Shared parenting may not suit cases involving domestic violence or abuse. Political motives. Okay. Now, Ashok Kumar Mittal was in Aam Aadmi Party when he introduced this, but merged with BJP in April 26. So, is it a political tool to split votes? Okay. Finally, low passage likelihood. Historically, the private member bills have 0% success rate since 1970. Okay. So, private member bills are the bills which are introduced by the members who are not part of the government, that is the members who are not ministers. Okay. So historically, since 1970, private member bills have been failing in the parliament and have not been able to become laws. Okay. So these are essentially the cons and criticism. Okay. Now, when we talk about the way forward for this bill, okay. So, we can see that this is in itself is a huge step that has been taken. Okay. Now, this bill will fill an institutional gap. India has got Commission for Women, Commission for Minorities, Commission for Child Rights, but nothing for men. But it sparks a necessary debate. It focuses us to look at male suicide, mental health, and legal biases seriously. Okay. Along with this, now, this bill has finally forced the nation to acknowledge that men too suffer. They are also suffering from domestic abuse, mental health crisis, and legal inequity. Okay, so the way forward is not to reject this bill outrightly, but to consult it widely. Okay, we need to ask a question: can we have a men's commission that works alongside the National Commission for Women? Okay, so this bill should not be considered as a bill establishing National Commission for Men against National Commission for Women. Okay, moreover, there must be wider consultations. Okay, there have to be data backed reforms and robust safeguards to ensure genuine women victims are not silenced. Okay, so we need to stop treating gender justice as zero sum game. Okay, so it is not like that a man, if in case a man gains something, okay, the women has to lose something. It is not like this. The ultimate goal should be to raise the baseline of justice for everyone. Clear? So, by and large, while concluding it is not just the member of parliament, but the entire nation should reflect. Okay, Ketan Agarwal case has been heartbreaking. Okay, the data on male suicides is alarming. Okay, and the misuse of laws is again a reality. But the vulnerability of women in rural India and otherwise also must be acknowledged. Okay, even though the National Commission for Men may not be perfect, it may have loopholes, it may have a political baggage, but it starts a conversation that the people have been avoiding for too long. A conversation about the victimhood of male. So, if a nation that has got Article 14 in its constitution that talks about the equality before law, then we must not just pick and choose who deserves protection based upon the gender. Okay, so this is for all to introspect. If every victim deserves justice, support, and equal protection, then why should a man be asking for help be seen as an attack on women's right? Clear? So please do let me know in comment section how do you feel about this bill. Okay. Moreover, from tomorrow we are starting off with our next batch, our GS Foundation batch in our P2I batches based upon the SMART model for your UPSC preparation. You just need to use the code SRM Live to avail maximum discount. Moreover, do join me on my Telegram channel Sharad Mudgal _StudyIQ. You may just scan this QR code and gain access to my Telegram channel. Okay. Now in this channel, I'm sharing the PDFs of all my current affairs sessions. Along with it, I'm conducting a smart NCRT series of Indian polity. Okay. So daily live session at 3 p.m. on this YouTube channel. Okay, in this channel, I'll cover all the NCRTs of Indian polity from class 6th up to class 12th. Okay, so this smart NCRT series is aimed at establishing your foundation of Indian polity for your UPSC exams. Clear? So do let me know your views upon this bill. Okay, and we'll see you all in the next session. Jai Hind.